Like, if this is not fucking you with no lotion, I don't know what this is. This is, they really,
Wow.
really.
The creator of Demon Slayer getting screwed with no lotion. But this is gonna be my common theme towards this entire thing. You cannot negotiate based on results that you do not have yet. Yes, Demon Slayer movie has surpassed Spirited Away in terms of box office results. It's blown everything for years out of the water. But we can't say, like, because of that, they screwed her over. They didn't know when they were negotiating it would be that much of a hit. It would save the industry. You can't later go and claim that and say, you know what? I did this, so I should get more money. It would be cool if she did, but when you're making the contract in the first place, you gotta go for what you think you're worth. Now, skip forward, timestamp 6 minutes 21 seconds, that's 6:21. And I agree entirely. Shonen Jump knew what they had with Demon Slayer. By the time the movie was announced coming out, it was already a hit. It is a straightforward battle shonen manga with a huge amount of popularity, enough popularity to get an anime, and then get a movie. This wasn't some unknown artist just getting their hit who's gotten taken advantage of. This was someone with a decent amount of cred already under her name. Why didn't they negotiate for more?
Like, the contract she signed, rumor has it that she signed it before season 1 was released. So
6 minutes
they
37.
signed, they made
Even
her
if she
sign this
signed
contract along
before
with,
it
you
was
know,
released,
season 1, and
the
it was like, all
anime,
right,
the
this is an
manga
additional
was already
contract for the
out and
one-shot deal
popular.
for the movie, and this is all you're getting. The reason they offered her that amount was they claimed that's the basic amount that they was going to offer a regular, you know, schmegula manga artist, right? Because of the fact that she didn't really make a name for herself. Mind you, Shorty has 5 titles under her belt, but they didn't really go as far as
name them.
Name them.
I can't name
Huh.
them.
First of all, you didn't tell me we was going to name them. I would have been wrote them down.
Well,
I know, I'm joking.
it also should be stated that I believe those 5 titles were one-shots in Shonen Jump. So even though they aren't like long-running titles, there's a history of them working together in some capacity.
Okay, I see what you're going for. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
please continue, Patty.
First of all, nobody drinks with their pinky up. I don't know why you do.
First of all, I'm going to cut my camera off. Do not come for me. I did not send for you.
That's how you feel. But the crazy thing, what bothers me is that manga artists get a bad rap. You can't make a living from being a manga artist, because technically speaking, this is how much you what you're bringing home within the year is $12,000, $12,000 to $30,000 in 1 year if you're a manga artist, right? And you're expected to have an assistant because you're doing all these panels by yourself. You can't afford one, but they're expecting you to have one. Not to mention the editor that's supposed to help you make sure that you're basically turning in these pages on time and meet your deadline, right? Because if you don't meet your deadline, either you get a penalty or I think they drop your shit. Like, they really come for you. Like, they really come for you, knock on your door, and they tell your mom where you at. Like, are you in the basement? Because in my head, I think most manga artists, because they get paid shitty, they're in the basement of their parents' house. That's I don't know.
That's not really a lot. A lot of them, they ain't really eating too good. It's like either you come out with a Dragon Ball Z hit or you get shelled. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
That's
I
trash.
don't think you'll really know like how much a manga artist is fully worth until like chapter 100.
He's older.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
they-
so a little bit of a defense on the company side here is that they don't know. Like, yeah, they have an idea that it's good, but they don't know how fans are gonna react. Like, even with the movie, like, it really did as well as it did. Yes, on its own merit, but also Corona was a thing. Like, people were hungry for entertainment, and this movie came out at the perfect time for it.
Yeah.
Not only that, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, to the company's point, you never know how something is going to go. You never know that. case in point, look at what Kishimoto did with Samurai 8.
8 minutes 40
Um,
seconds. And yet hip hop anime vibes is exactly right. It's what I'm saying. You don't know how it will turn out. You don't.
Ooh, that was a floppy thing.
You know, here we have a mangaka with all of the accolades and clout that one should have, and the creative storytelling for a company to invest in, for you to think like, yeah, this is going to do well, and fans are really going to love this, especially based off of his previous
10
track
minutes,
record.
10 seconds.
Only
Boruto,
to
Yashikime.
have the
You know how things
title
will
not
drop
be
no matter
widely
how
received
popular they might be.
by
It's still gonna
fans.
be a gamble
So
when you change to a
with
different
Shonen
media.
Jump, it's their primary goal is at the end of the day to make sure that they're moving product. They're not necessarily focusing on putting the artist first. You know what I mean? Like, they have a product that they need to move, so they're going to focus on titles that move that product. I would liken it to a situation of like a record label. You know, if you take a look at YMCMB, of course you got your big hitters, you got your big three, you got your Nicki Minaj, you got
That's
your
a
Drake,
Uh-huh.
and what you got, your Lil Wayne, and you can even throw a Tyga in there. But
Yeah,
on the other end of
throw
that,
that in there.
yeah, on the other end, who do we have? We've got Lil Twist, we've got Lil Chucky, we've got anyone else who was hanging out with Justin Bieber at the time. We've got Bow Wow.
Damn.
Yo, I forgot he was a part of that for a while.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was.
God.
He was.
He did that weird ass Tyler Creator freestyle or whatever. I remember that. He was like, yeah, like CFP. I'm like, what the fuck? I like, Bow, if you don't move.
So with that analogy, and to Derby's point, you never know going into it as a company what's going to pop and what's not going to pop.
I mean, that's true, because Crunchyroll really thought that Dr. Stone was going to do something. They put money out to actually have them on the billboards on 42nd Street. I remember we was all out, and it was like, oh snap, Dr. Stone is really out here in 42nd Street. And then I was like, yo, something tell me this is not going to do as big as all the other heavy hitters. That's like, I knew, I had a hunch that Demon Slayer was going to be a big deal because it was a
11 minutes,
good
58 seconds.
typical
Not
basic
everybody
shonen.
loves
And
shonen.
everybody who's into
A lot of us
anime
love
loves
shonen, but
that's just
it's so
the-
basic.
That's it. But we never knew it was going to be this great. Like I said before, the creator of Demon Slayer, she didn't even watch the show until somebody called. It was like, yo, episode 19 broke the fucking internet. You need to tune in. And she was like, really? Nah. And then when she saw it, that's when she tweeted. She was like, oh my God, I didn't know they was going to catch the pure essence of this chapter the way they caught it on in episode 19. So I think, in the defense of the manga artists, right? I feel like they knew what they had, right? But their best interest is to just screw you over to make sure their pockets is full. That's how I see it. Like, and they don't care. They really don't care that she got, like, we could talk about this all day. Are they gonna give her another check? No. The only thing she got to live on right now is if she pulls out another project. And it's hard to be a creator and to come out with something just as good as your first. That's why a lot of artists, sometimes they don't make it after their first album. That first album is usually their one hit. And then to come out to have something just as good, not everybody can be Beyonce's and Jay-Z's and J. Cole's and Kendrick to come out with hits after hits after hit. Who's to say she's gonna have another hit? Like,
I think, and to your point with that, the reason some of those first albums and those first stories are so great is because when you're an upcoming artist or an upcoming creative, you literally have been working on that story for your entire life. You know what I mean? You've been working on that album for your entire life. That's literally your blood, sweat, and tears put into your art. So when they turn around and they're like, okay, now you got to do the same thing within 9 months. Like, it's like, yo, like, fam, like, what are you talking about? Or you got to give us another chapter next week. And it's like, fam, like, what do you want from me? You can only operate at that intensity for so long before you get burnt out. But I mean, let me pose this question to you guys. I mean, when it comes to business, what side do you guys like lean towards? You lean towards the artist?
The artist,
okay.
Always the artist, because if it wasn't no artist, there would be no product. The only difference between the artist and the person that's pushing the artist creativity is one has talent, the other one just that has the gift for gab to just steal your money. That
They
is
got
That's
it.
a talent in itself.
Yeah,
That's
Like,
I
you
mean,
can't argue that's not a talent. Like, like the artist was sitting there in obscurity. It doesn't matter how nice a church singer you are if no one knows who you are.
1452.
You're-
When Hip Hop and Rev was asking whose side do you fall on, the artist or the company, we all want to support the artist, and the artists need support. But Patty, you gotta remember that the company isn't doing nothing. They are providing the platform. They're jerks, take more money than they need, but it is absolutely necessary to have the platform, to have the distribution. In fact, without the companies, we wouldn't see or know anime because it's from Japan. Who's distributing? We had the fan translators, but they created an industry where we can get it at the touch of the fingertips. So who's doing the biggest service for the consumers, for us, for the fans, for the people who see this and go nuts over it? The creators are doing a lot, but the companies are also giving us a hand.
Singing in that small town church for the rest of your life.
That's a
Like
fact.
that random
Nothing
business that
happens to
finds
me
you.
as long as I bathe in the blood of Jesus. So I don't know why you coming at why you coming.
Well, all right.
I,
Okay.
I'm not saying anything bad about the church right now. We all know my feelings on it, but that's not what we're getting into. All right, we're simply talking about the fact that we have all. I'm sure most of us have seen some church singers that have been incredible, fucking phenomenal, and they have gone nowhere. Even if they wanted to, they're not getting anywhere. Why? Because they haven't met the right person, the right company who can put them on.
And the world,
Alright.
world ain't really get to see what they could do. What Jadakiss said? Why a dude up north better than Jordan that ain't get that break? Because the whole world ain't know. The whole world ain't know about him. You know what I'm saying? So
There is a
Yeah.
talent in putting somebody into the face of the world so that everyone can see them. There is a talent to getting people to shine.
and it's like you said too. The company don't really 100% know that this person can really pop with their product, whatever it is that they pushing. You know what I mean? So the company's actually taking a big chance too. They investing a lot of money into all of this. So
Oh God, not you too, Kevin. I really, this is why I was so adamant about having you on so much because
Listen,
I thought
I didn't-
you
I
was
didn't
for the
even get
people.
warmed up
I
yet.
really thought that you was for the people.
I ain't get what. Whoa. Let's be clear. I'm for me. You understand? I'm for me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a tricky situation when it comes to business and the people who are in business with certain companies because, like I always say, in business what's better for me is worse for you and vice versa. So it's a tricky situation when you're trying to work out them figures, the numbers, the rights, the ownerships, and all of that stuff. It just so happened that in this situation, the creator of Demon Slayer, one of the hottest joints out right now, got fucked over, like you said, completely fucked over.
10 minute 48, not screwed over. It was just a bad bet.
To save the Japanese economy, especially during an uncertain time, and for her to get so little. And I can't remember what it is that Harvey Dent said. He either said, what is it? You live long enough to become a Negro or live long enough to die a villain, something like that. But
I think I remember it.
Die be a hero and live long enough to see yourself become a Negro.
It's either you die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
There you
Right.
go.
There you go.
Right. There it is.
In entertainment, I mean, case in point, we've seen this shit happen not just in manga, but we've seen it happen in music
Yes.
since the 50s. Take a look at Motown Records, case in
God.
point, man. They earn those the label owns those records in perpetuity.
No, Barry Gordy owes everything. That's what he does. He owns
Yeah.
everything, and he don't give you shit. He give you a penny.
Mhm.
It's about thank you.
Maybe
That's for your Jerry
Diana
curl.
Ross feature. Maybe a Diana Ross feature. That's
Maybe. Maybe.
But no, I mean, I
No, let me stop.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Derby, we're gonna auto tune that. That's the intro. To this.
Intro. 2021. That's a good intro.
Got it.
2021.
But no, I
Damn,
mean,
I got my pinky.
but when it comes to entertainment, man, entertainment versus label, entertainer versus corporation, it boils down to this, man. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So the game is going to be the game regardless of how you feel about what goes on or not. The thing is, the art the thing about being an artist, you have to know your leverage in that situation, so you can make sure that you get the best out of that deal that you possibly can.
But there's listen,
just like you said, you gotta make sure it's either you at the table or you the dinner.
But that's true too. But think about it like this: a manga artist. How you say it again? Manga. How you call it? Mangaka. Am I saying it right? Okay, I'm gonna just say manga artist because I don't want to disrespect.
It just sounds sexual.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
It just sounds real sexual.
But think about
How,
it, right?
Kevin? How?
Try saying it again. Try saying it one more time.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
I'm pretty sure you see some videos where you hear certain sounds like that. I'm just saying.
Oh my god! First of all, we're not even talking about the hentai section yet.
Listen, everything does it for me in fucking in the pandemic.
Interracial mangaka.
I've been at home for too long, you heard? I've been inside for too long.
I like how we all sipping at the same time. Like,
oh fuck it.
Nah, but on some real shit though. But look at these manga artists, man. Mm-hmm. Look, all right. Let's real quick. Let me just tell you what they have to go through just to get acknowledged, right? Okay. A manga artist can start off from 3 ways. Either they go to like an art college or a manga school, or start off being an apprentice for another manga, a well-known manga artist. But sometimes, like, for you to be an apprentice for somebody that's well-known, they already got an ego, so they're not messing with just anybody, regular schmegular person. So you got to prove yourself to that person, or they have these competitions where you send in your one-shot deals.
One-shots, yeah.
And then sometimes, based on where you rank that, or if you're number 1, you might get a phone call from some of these manga artists and be like, hey, you could be my apprentice. And when they say apprentice, that doesn't mean you necessarily learn from them out the gate. You copping coffee, you getting sushi, you getting all that shit for them first. And then they let you probably erase their board.
Mistakes.
Yeah, that's it. But this is
boards.
you know how they do they boards with all the drawings and the backgrounds. Back in the day, they didn't have everything digital, so you basically had to erase all the mistakes on that board so they could ship that out to the editor. Or
I'm sure some still don't use digital.
Yeah.
I mean, judging by how much they get paid, I doubt. I don't think you're wrong. And then top it off, it's known to be said that Japan is thriving when it comes to the comic book market, right? But the people who are reaping the benefits of the money that's coming into that type of industry is people.
Patty did mention that you can become an apprentice, you can go to an art school, but she's forgetting a very, 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 very important method that a lot of publishers will be looking out for, and that is the doujin market, doujinshi. These are fan-made or basically unprofessionally made comics. If I sat down, wrote one, and then you'd go and sell them at comic markets, like Comic Cat is, yeah, I'm fairly certain Comic Cat's one. So a lot of times publishers will have editors, commissioning editors go out to these doujin unprofessional markets, see what's around, and harvest talent from there. So you could get scouted if you're just working on your own stuff. They could say, hey, I love this. Do you want to try to write a one-shot for us? If your one-shot's good, awesome. Why don't you write a full story? Then there's also the good old slush pile. I don't know the name for it in Japan, but at least in the US, we'd call them slush piles, where you just submit your work unprompted. You find the email address of an editor. You might email to them, or just straight up put it in the mail. Here's a manuscript, if you like it, hit me up. So you don't always have to go through formal apprenticeships or educational settings.
Well, like Oda.
Mm-hmm. He's like the Jay-Z of mangakas.
He is. But think about it.
He's the rare example.
He is but think about what he's doing to get where he's at. He literally, when I Googled Oda, what came under his name was how many hours does Oda sleep?
His schedule, yeah.
He sleeps 3 hours a day. The rest of the time, he's just doing research and plan. This dude came on an interview and said, I don't want to go outside because I feel like that's a disservice to my fans. Nigga, you can't go get you some bread or go get some milk. You just want to focus on One Piece.
Nah, he already getting that bread.
I mean, Patty.
They do say he worth a lot though. They do say his net worth kind of up there,
No, his
considering
net
all
worth
he
is
do
in
is
the
draw
millions.
comics.
His net worth is in the millions because
Nah,
guess
he's
what? He's put in so, but think about it. It took 10 years. He didn't get that way overnight. And I feel like to a certain extent, as amazing Oda is, he's sending out a bad message too. I'm pretty sure he's not doing it on purpose. But like I said, I don't want to sit there and have to be halfway dying to put out good content for y'all to see me. Shit,
So
I want to
would you
reap my
say-
benefits now. I want y'all to see my story and give me a fair shot. I don't want to go into this shit 10 years from now telling motherfuckers I'm afraid to go outside because I'm gonna, deprive from my fans and only sleep for 3 hours. Are you kidding? Have you run on 3 hours of sleep?
So
That's
would you say?
that's like being a drunk.
So hold on. All right. So let me ask y'all this. So would y'all say there's more of a problem with like the system as far as like manga creators and
Of course, there's a
Okay, timestamp about I'd say 2320. Patty, I don't know you. I don't know your work. You want us to immediately be invested like we're invested in God Oda. Just based on nothing. If I just see the first chapter, first summary, first volume of something, I don't know if it's gonna be good. Manga, comics, anime is so saturated. You have to rise to the top, establish yourself over a set period. Stay in the minds and the hearts of the fans. That's not something you just get. So when you're first coming out, yeah, your manga's gonna be a dime a dozen. That's why they're gonna pay you a dime for a dozen pages. That, I don't know if there's a better way for it. Actually, Webtoons has been doing pretty good with like pay per chapter, a couple cents per chapter. I think that might be a better model than some of these publications like Jump or Shoujo Beat. Is that still a thing? I hope so. I liked Shoujo Beat.
problem with the
Yes.
system. The only
Yes.
reason they offered her, the creator of Demon Slayer, that amount was because of the fact they said that she's not established, she's not well known. So that's why they gave it to her, and that's why she felt obligated to sign, because of the fact that they were like, okay, you know,
2340?
you're not really out there
She's
like
not
that, so you should be
well-known.
thankful
I
for
don't
giving
know
you
her
these
name. I know
peanuts.
Kishimoto.
She was
I
like,
know
sure, I'll
John
take the
Oda.
peanuts and the shells. Thank you.
But
It's
here's the thing.
fine.
In
Here's the
terms
thing,
of
it's
well
also peanuts,
established,
but
she's got a good rap,
exposure
but she's
is
got
the
one
thing.
long
So,
running
like,
series.
she is now established.
Mhm.
Her next deal is gonna be a very different
That's
conversation.
if she gets the next deal.
Why would
And if she don't pull a Samurai 8 on us, if she
Yeah,
drop a
yeah,
Samurai 8,
true.
it's over.
Yeah,
So it's like,
it's still a little bit in her court, but she definitely has more leverage than when she went into that first deal. Like, yeah, she has a few one shots here and there, and she's worked with them a little, but she didn't have like worldwide renown yet.
I would like to backtrack the conversation to Patty's question, which was the way that mangakas are compensated is broken. They are making the most money off of the books that they sell. Okay.
Yes. I know. Yeah.
And you can think of that like how you think of streaming royalties with music artists. You know, anytime somebody streams a song, or anytime someone buys a song, anytime someone plays a song, that's essentially the same thing when you purchase the manga. Okay. Here's where it gets broken, right? Because Shonen Jump pay, as a publisher, they pay the artist per book that they sell, and they also pay them for their time. After that,
they pay them per page.
that's right.
They
that's
pay them
right.
per page now. Are you
Yeah.
shitting me? So I gotta give you a Bible script, mad Bible scriptures for you to pay me, and it's like a yen to a page or some shit like that. You got
It's not a yen to a page. It's not great.
she dragging a little.
No,
But yo, what's
if
the-
memory serves, it's like it's anywhere between like $100 to $200 per page,
Yeah.
and
It-
they mandate them to do. No, it's not even that much. I'm sorry, but at the end of the
It's
month, it boils down to them making, what is it, 7,000 U.S. American dollars a month.
Yeah.
that's if that. That's if that.
Yeah.
That's if
The
that.
dilemma is they have to pay their own assistants.
Yes,
Yes.
they pay their own assistants, and they have to pay their editor. Not to mention all the stuff that's required, utensils, everything to make this project successful, that comes out from their pockets.
So
Right.
here's where the things get tricky, right? Because when a manga is really successful, what happens? It turns into an anime, right? Where shit is fucked up for the mangakas is when that gets picked up as an anime, they get paid a licensing fee, which
Right.
is, based on my research, is roughly about $600 per episode that they pick up.
Mhm.
Beyond that, you don't get any money for merch. You don't get any money for residual income for streaming. And that part is where it gets like really tricky, because it's like, okay, you can have this timeless classic, but with it airing on Crunchyroll, you're not getting any of the money from people streaming on Crunchyroll. They're not, Crunchyroll and streaming companies aren't necessarily required to
pay you.
report, not even pay you, but they don't report their numbers publicly based off of what's streaming.
Right,
So-
they don't.
So you see that $600, and you know, what is that? Most anime is what, 12 episodes in a season. So you're seeing like $8,000.
What am I doing with 8,000? I'm still waiting on my stimulus check.
Right.
I
We
can't do
all-
that with $8,000.
That one
So,
nigga downstairs.
Dave
27,
Chappelle, your
20.
whole shit.
Okay, I'm gonna say some stuff that'll about to piss you off, but honestly, after the manga, what's the manga artist doing? Are they writing the script? Are they animating? Are they making the platforms? Are they distributing? I understand it's their original idea, but they're getting paid for having that idea. If they're getting paid per episode, I think that's kind of fantastic. If they want more, they gotta negotiate for more from a place of power. But that's negotiating because it was my idea to start with. I thought of it, I made the original manga. The manga artist's job is the manga. If more things come out of that, that's cool. But I don't know, if they don't have a direct role in those other versions of it, a direct role working constantly in the anime, a direct role designing and putting out the merch, then I'm okay with them not getting paid for it. Yeah, it's your idea, but it's not like you're putting in additional work for these other versions of it. If you're only working on the manga, then we're only gonna pay you regularly for the manga and some extra fees for if we do licensing. So, unpopular opinion, but honestly, I'm okay with that. Naturally, I think as a manga gets popular, you should get paid more as it starts raking in money. But again, paid for the work. You don't get constantly paid for an idea unless you're business-minded and negotiate for a permanent portion of all proceeds from all different products. Yeah, that sounds so extra. I'd be impressed if the manga artist is that business-minded that they can negotiate that, but that's a lot.
You just Dave Chappelle your entire creation. Shit is
Yeah.
fucked up. But the what's even more foul though is like a lot of big companies, their argument is gonna be, yo, the system works. Because they're gonna be like, yo, look at Naruto, look at One Piece, look at Bleach, look at this, look at
Yeah,
that.
but
So
that's a
they in no
handful.
rush to
That's-
change that system. They in
But
no
bruh,
rush to
that's
change
a
that system.
handful of artists. That's a handful of creators against 1,000 others with great content. With great content that we'll never see an adaptation for in anime form. Like that's
You can say that about everything though. That like the NBA, they're gonna be like, yo, look at Jordan, look at LeBron, look at these niggas, but they breaking their bodies damn near every night just
they
to
get paid for that.
score
They
some
getting a
shots.
good money. They getting a good chunk
Shoot,
change
but-
for that.
But
They
what I'm
getting a
saying
chunk
is
change.
like there's a whole bunch of players that we not seeing who ain't getting shit. But the NBA's defense is, yo, it's on you. Go hard or go home. Cause look, the system is working. We got these players right here. They making big bucks, whatever. I think that show
I don't
jumping
think-
on companies, they gonna look at it just like that. They're gonna be like, yo, just
Yeah,
come
you're
through with
the
some
company.
Kev,
So
I don't
sleep-
think a single
sleep 3
NBA
hours a
player.
night.
I don't think there's a single like professional NBA player who's like not really making bank.
Yeah, they still making bank.
But a lot of them go broke after their career is over.
Yeah,
After-
yeah, but that's on them.
You could buy a Tesla the first year you was
All
signed.
right, so would you
So
say,
that's your
so then
fault.
would you say it's on the creator of Demon Slayer that she's dead broke from that deal?
Nah,
No,
because
I-
that's 20K. Nah, it's
Mhm.
on them because they made the money and then spent it dumb.
Yeah.
Alright?
I mean-
It's on them. It's on society a little, but
I
they
think
can all be Jay-Z's because they have the money. They
They
had
do.
the startup
They do.
capital to make something.
I
They
think
fucked up.
I think
ahead,
what no, it's all good, man. I think what it comes down to, right? I think both statements can be true. I think can we hold the mangaka accountable for signing a shitty deal.
All right, I'm frozen at 27:10. I'm gonna cut it here. Bye, Patty.